Quigz, we've been doing this on video for like 2 weeks now. This is the second week we're going to be doing it on video and posting it over to YouTube. And for those of you watching the video stream on YouTube, thank you, number one. Number two, we appreciate that, but please also listen to the feed on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You don't have to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just click it. Just click it.
Our crops are fully dead. So
they need moisture.
They need to be moist.
They need moist.
We all love being moist.
We lost a lot of subscribers over saying moist right there alone.
It's all right.
It's all right. And for those of you watching, for seeing our beautiful faces today, you might notice that I'm dursting to start the show, which I do occasionally. And there was something I saw a couple weeks ago, but then I got sick and other shit. And I forgot to mention it I forgot to put it on the sheet to mention, but since I love to talk about nu metal and specifically Limp Bizkit on this show because it's all hilarious, so a couple weeks ago, Lollapalooza happened and Hulu had a live stream of Lollapalooza, and we tuned in, I think midway through, like the Killers were playing, and we saw that the Deftones had played before that, and Emily wanted to check that out. So we tried to rewind. It wouldn't let us rewind. So we're like, all right, let's go to YouTube and see what we could find on YouTube as far as like, maybe somebody bootlegged it or something like that. And we couldn't find that, but we did find a Limp Bizkit performance from Lollapalooza in Chile. And I was like, well, I'm sure as shit checking that out. And it did not disappoint, my friend. So first of all, Mr. Frederick Durst, is that the pronunciation? Is it Frederick? Probably a Frederick, right?
I'm sure. Yeah, he looks like a Frederick. Yeah.
So Fred Durst comes out in just the most audacious tracksuit I maybe have, like the most 90s tracksuit I have ever seen. And again, I apologize. I'm sure there's a better way to screen share this with people, but I'm just going to hold my phone up to the screen like Slam and Sammy would do. And yeah, this thing is amazing.
That's what I need in my wardrobe immediately.
For those of you not looking at this, I'll try to post an image on social media tomorrow, but it's
beautiful tracksuit.
It's like blue, purple, pink, yellow, all the colors.
It's like the 90s. Yeah, the 90s. Teal. I think I saw some teal in there.
There's definitely some teal. Yeah.
Teal is a really underrated color. Like, I don't think we talk enough about teal. I think it's a great color.
The San Jose Sharks agree with you.
I love the Sharks uniforms.
Sharks Nation. It's a unique color in the league, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's nobody else.
I don't know. There's something about teal. I've always liked teal. Big time.
Yeah.
Big teal guy. Yeah.
Good color and a great 90s color for sure.
Wasn't there also recently a proposal at the Mud Pit at a Fred Durst Limp Bizkit show somewhere?
Was that Stained? I think it might have been Stained.
Stained. It was Stained. That's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but regardless, all beautiful stuff from beautiful people.
Yeah. Listen, man, it's just love is love.
Dude, exactly. Yeah. Love is love, 100%. Even Limp Bizkit and Stained fans can love. And so the tracksuit was amazing.
If truly anyone is capable.
Anyone. Yeah. Even the biggest Stained fans. But so the tracksuit's amazing. At one point they played the first like 30 seconds of Heart-Shaped Box, and Emily and I were on the edge of our seats going, "Oh my God, are they really going to fucking cover Heart-Shaped Box right now?" And they cut it off, but it was close. We did end up going down a rabbit hole and seeing them cover Killing in the Name, which was, it's exactly what you'd expect it to be.
Have you ever been to a Limp Bizkit show in person?
No, I went to the Family Values tour, but it wasn't when they were there. The year I went, it was like Linkin Park, Stained,
Flex.
Big Flex. Well, the biggest one, there was one act I was like super pumped I saw that day. Stone Temple Pilots was the headliner. That
STP, baby. I love Stone Temple Pilots.
Fucking love STP.
Scott Weiland, rip. R.I.P.
That was one of the best performances I've ever seen was Scott Weiland that day.
He's incredible.
Scott Weiland was just
what year
ridiculous.
Was this?
Like 99.
Oh, dude. So this is like peak Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah, I think this was like right after their fourth album came out.
Yeah, the one
with like Sour Girl and
I love
Down.
Sour Girl.
Down is a freaking ripper of a song. Down is awesome.
Yes, it is.
So like that's a great album, and like, man, Scott Weiland was feeling it. Like whatever he was on doing that tour was the good stuff, because he was unbelievable. So great tour. I never saw Limp Bizkit though. I saw lots of those late 90s, early 2000s bands, but Limp Bizkit was not on the docket, sadly.
Tripping on a Hole in a Paper Heart. Did they play? Dude.
Yeah, dude, they played it. It was great.
So good. Like 90s Stone Temple Pilots was incredible.
Oh,
like incredible. Just out of control.
Yeah.
So
just like 4 great albums.
One of my big regrets was never getting to see Chris Cornell.
Oh, same.
Perform, like in person.
Same.
Like that really bums me out a lot, because he's just like one of the best voices I've ever heard.
He's definitely the best, and I love the grunge era. Like the grunge era is very much my shit, but like I think Cornell's easily got the best voice of the grunge era.
I mean, he beats the shit out of Cobain.
Yeah, well, like Cobain's known for his lyrics, not his
yeah. He's not, but like he beats the shit out of Cobain. I think he beats the shit out of Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, I love Eddie, but like Cornell's got like pipes for days.
I just don't know who beats Cornell from
the
grunge era. Like he's easily the best.
The only person that's close is like Lane Staley.
I was going to say Lane Staley, I could argue, but I think he beats Lane Staley too.
Yeah.
So,
and I think Weiland's got a great voice, but like it's a different kind of voice. Cornell's just got this raw, like, but like beautiful at the same time. Just that's my great regret too. I have 2 giant ones that I never saw Cornell, and I never saw Tom Petty. Those are my 2 big ones.
Yeah. Cornell, I feel like, has the only way I can describe his voice is like devastatingly, heartbreakingly beautiful.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of pain behind that voice, but goddamn does he let it all out. So, oh yeah, Steve.
Yeah, I'm showing off my gut for everybody. No, the dog's up to no good, and Emily's not home right now.
Take it off, Steve.
Hey, baby.
Give us a show.
You didn't see any gut on there, did you?
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh, thank God.
I wish I did.
Oh, no, you don't. That's not a good sign. No, the dog is just trying to drive me nuts right now because I'm not paying him enough attention. So that's what happens with Brucey boy. But anyway, right. Yeah. But yeah, so Limp Bizkit is definitely not on the list. But you know what? Hey, this live performance YouTube I saw. So wait, okay. So I didn't even hit the best part. The best part is they played Break Stuff, right? Which is I think maybe there's
top 5 song of all time.
It's one of their top 3 for sure. You know, it's one of their most notable. Yeah. I'd say it's probably like, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Rollin', Nookie, and Break Stuff, the 3 best songs in history.
And then Beethoven,
keep rolling, bro. But they started with Break Stuff, which I'm like, get right to the hits. Bold move. Yeah, you want to start the pit right away. Let's do it. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I got a little bored, so I was like, all right, let's fast forward through, just see what else they played. And then, you know, sometimes when you're on YouTube videos, people will kind of mark the chapters accordingly. And I saw Break Stuff again, and I'm like, excuse me? For real? And they played Break Stuff twice. Which I don't think I've ever seen a band play the same song twice in a set.
So the only time I've heard of that happening is, and I might be getting this mixed up, it's a very real possibility that that's what's happening, but I think I remember hearing about Vampire Weekend coming out and playing A-Punk like 4 times in a row or something like that, just because everyone's like, play A-Punk, and they're like, all right, so they just played it over and over again.
Kind of a friendly trolling of their own fans.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Play Freebird. The whole set is just Freebird.
It's great. It's awesome. So yeah, I love it when they do that. So it's kind of like I'm a big Radiohead guy, and so a lot of times they will start their show off with Creep, because like that's like their most famous song, but it's like one of their least favorite songs.
Right.
So,
right.
Like they are just like, fine, we'll fucking play it. We're gonna get it out of the way, and then they get to the their like songs that they enjoy playing, and like their deeper cuts and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah,
they do not find Creep so fucking special.
They don't.
No,
they really don't. It's kind of fun.
They cannot look you in the eye. I will say the number one, the original version of Creep's fantastic. The acoustic version of Creep absolutely fucks.
Have you heard the one that it's like a choral version? And
so
It's from the trailer for The Social Network.
Yeah.
That is so well done. Like really,
so
really
well
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Good shit right there. But yeah,
really good.
break stuff twice is a little bit different, but I found that friggin' hysterical. And it's something I needed to share with the people, that there is a Limp Bizkit concert in Chile. I think it's Chile, and they play Break Stuff twice. And Fred Durst wears a hilarious tracksuit. So if you want to check out any Tangy Tent with the Limp Bizkit, that is what to check out.
It's tangy stuff. You're right.
Tangy stuff.
I love that. I love that for Fred Durst. I love that for Limp Bizkit. May they reign supreme forever. Yeah, it's excellent.
Now, the other thing is, and I know we have a lot of hockey to get to, but before there's a shocking amount of hockey.
Stunning. It's the Czechs Notes, middle of August, and we have like a jam-packed show of like actual Flyers things to talk about, because of course the Flyers just can't keep their nose out of the headlines. So
center of the
before we get to that, there's much more important things to discuss here.
Yeah, like the most important casting news I've ever seen in my life, and that is that maybe my favorite weird actor is one Nicolas Cage is set to play John Madden, which is like, dude, that is like the craziest casting news I've ever seen. Like, I just can't picture it at all. And I can't picture him doing the voice where he's like, oh, John Madden.
Not at all. No. You know who would play a great John Madden if he like hadn't died?
Chris Farley?
John Candy.
John Candy would be a great one. Honestly, John Goodman would crush it.
Yeah, he would crush it. He'd be great.
John Goodman would be fantastic. Like, I mean, come on. And like
Nic Cage.
Nic Cage. Oh my God, it's turducken. Like,
dude, no, it's gonna be so bad.
Like, I saw it. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be a shit show.
That's gonna be a role for him that either like solidifies his status as just like a meme of an actor, or separates himself as like, holy shit, this is like one of the best performances of your career.
Yeah.
Because if he pulls off because like, I don't think there's anyone in the world who's expecting him to play John Madden well. No. If he does, I'll be like, damn, dude, that's impressive considering his track record. Like that would be wild if he pulled it off.
Unless you're considering animated films, I don't think he's done a good movie in 20 years. It's crazy.
National Treasure is the only movie in the world that matters. So credit where it's due. But like,
I mean, the guy is unbelievable in a lot of movies. He's also just unbelievable in a lot of movies. But John Madden's insane. And my idea for this film, if I was producing this, is I would just go Nutty Professor style and just have him play everybody.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
Because like Al Davis is apparently going to be a big part of this film. And it's like, well, why doesn't he just play Al Davis too? Because like Nic Cage actually looks like Al Davis. I could see that.
Christopher Walken has to be Al Davis.
Oh, that's actually good. I like that. It's me, Al Davis.
How's Christopher Walken alive?
I don't know, but I'm happy he is, because he is a treasure.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, no, he's awesome. But like,
just win, baby.
Yeah, just
win.
Just win.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 80. Oh, wow. He's only 81. I thought he was like 99.
John Madden, get out there and coach.
Get out there and coach the team.
I'm 100. I want Nic Cage to play everybody. I want him to play Pat Summerall. I want him to play Al Michaels. Just Nutty Professor style. The whole movie is just Nic Cage. I'm in for that 100%.
That would be fun. I would like that.
I'm into that.
Very funny news. I did not know about that until just now. So.
I think it just came out yesterday. Like it's hilarious. I can't wait. Very excited about that. But yeah, I guess we got to talk about the Flyers, and we got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it, baby. Let's go. Do we want to start with Kolosov or Ryan Johansen?
So let's start with Ryan Johansen.
Because
this is like the newer news,
fresher topic. Yeah, I don't know why I'm doing Italian hands for that, but like it's the newer news, the fresher topic, and frankly, it's pretty hot button.
I mean, it is. It's a lot of people are mad about this, and it's not the situation with Ryan Johansen itself, like at its core, that is what has people up in arms. It's the residual findings of the matter that have people going wild. So All right. So Ryan Johansen has never, I know that he's technically been a part of the Flyers since they traded Sean Walker to the Avs back at the trade deadline. So he's been in the Flyers organization for like half a year now, which is crazy to say. But it is crazy. But he was never going to be a Flyer. It was obvious from the start that they wanted nothing to do with him for reasons that, like, you know, it's not exactly a secret that he isn't the best locker room guy. Like, you know, just based off of rumors and hearsay from around the league, it sounds like he's just not the kind of guy that is like great for like this kind of growing, blossoming, blooming locker room like the Flyers locker room is right now. The bunch of younger guys, and plus they like the Flyers top guy is this 19-year-old kid who they're trying to protect. And, you know, so they probably wouldn't want someone like Ryan Johansen in that locker room with someone like that in there. So
yeah,
basically the situation is the Flyers came out and they essentially they announced that they're going to be terminating his contract, that they've like placed him on waivers with the like aim to terminate his contract and, you know, not have to deal with any of his money on their books. And they're calling it they're saying this due to a material breach, which is interesting. So
what terminology? Like, that is some real lawyer shit right there.
It is. So I think what that means is it's just like he didn't hold up his end of the contract, I think is what it means. I'm not totally sure because I'm not in law at all. But
right.
That's
like, I think Joe Boo was working on something like that for the site, like from the legal perspective, which is cool. Check that out on BroadStreetHockey.com. Subscribe and all that fun stuff. But anyway, yeah, it's a very lawyerly term right there. It kind of it almost sounds like a submarine movie term. Material breach on deck 5. Like
it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It sounds very nautical.
It sounds very nautical, but it's not very nautical. It's very lawyerly, and it's something that I think it could be big trouble for the Flyers, or it could be perfectly fine. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's probably best for both parties to just move on, because like he didn't want any part of the Flyers and the Flyers didn't want any part of him. And obviously the Avalanche didn't want any part of him, because the Avalanche basically were like, all right, well, we'll give you a first rounder, but you got to take this bullshit contract off our hands.
I don't know that he didn't want anything to do with the Flyers, but it is clearly evident that he wanted nothing to do with the Phantoms. He definitely didn't want anything to do with the Phantoms. So, you know, I don't know exactly where his head was at throughout this whole ordeal, but it sure sounds to me like, you know, this is not going to end very well. It sounds like this is going to be, you know, Ryan Johansen. It's a messy breakup. Like, you know, there's this major disagreement and they're essentially, you know, coming to this very unfortunate end where it sounds like some feelings are going to get hurt here. And reason I say that is because not long after this news came out that the Flyers were going to terminate his contract due to a material breach, basically Ryan Johansen's agent comes out, and we're going to get to this agent in a second. Agent comes out with a statement basically saying Ryan Johansen has a severe hockey injury that requires extensive surgery, which has been scheduled. Since being traded to the Philadelphia Flyers, Ryan has worked in good faith with the club, its medical staff, and authorized third-party physicians. The Flyers' attempt to terminate Ryan's contract is disappointing. We have been in contact with the NHLPA and will defend Ryan and protect his rights. Would you like to know, Steve, why this is newsworthy, this statement?
Well, I mean, again, we're talking very legal right here, and I can't imagine this is all going to sit very well with the NHLPA if, you know, they're, I guess, unlawfully terminating its contract is the way to put it.
You could say that, but
or wrongfully.
To me, it's more so who is saying this than what is being said. And the man who is Ryan Johansen's agent is none other than Kurt Overhart. And if you know who Kurt Overhart is, you know that he's also the agent of one William Gauthier.
Oh, Mild Bill Gauthier.
And he is the agent of one Zeev Bouillon, who now I'm not saying this is accurate, but there are theories flying around on Flyers Twitter that the Flyers chose not to pick Zebuyam in the draft because his agent is Kurt Overhart.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, let's put on our tinfoil hats.
Peak tinfoil hatting right there. Like, I don't necessarily think that has anything to do with any of this. I think it just so happened. Yeah, there you go. I think it just so happens that Kurt Overhart he's just involved with a lot of Flyer shit right now. And it's very weird. It's a weird situation right now as Steve puts his tinfoil hat onto his head. But you look like Little Red Riding Hood with the silver. Well, what's that thing that she wear, like a little white thing?
A bonnet, yeah.
A bonnet, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's
for all you fine folks just listening on Spotify or Apple or wherever you may be listening. I have put on a tinfoil hat under my headphones for the viewing pleasure of everybody. And I'll post a screenshot of this on the Instagram. Maybe the clip will go up on the Instagram again because we can do that now. But yeah, putting on my tinfoil hat because we're going to get into this conspiracy theory right here. And we're going to talk about how this big bad agent is, I heard a rumor that 20 years ago, Danny Briere tied his shoelaces together, while he wasn't looking, and he tripped and he broke his nose, and he's been pissed off about that ever since, and he's taken out on Danny Breeze.
That's not confirmed, but you can
my sources are telling me.
You can only assume.
It's not being beamed into my head through radio waves because the tinfoil's on,
it's protecting
me from the radio waves.
Yeah, you're unstoppable right now, Steve. So
unstoppable. Let me tell you. My mind powers. Yeah, I love when Flyers Twitter gets ultra fucking into this shit. Like, this is crazy. But you know what? This one might have some merit to it. I don't know. It's a weird coincidence.
If there's seriously like beef going on between Kurt Overhart and the Flyers, which again, I don't think that's actually happening, because the reason why is because if you're an NHL team and you are just like anti this agent, well, I got some serious news for you. This agent, Kurt Overhart, is an extremely popular agent across the NHL. And if you're just like, screw this guy, we don't want to work with him ever, well, you're not going to be able to sign like an eighth of the league. It's going to be like, you have to work with this guy. So I truly think that this is just a weird situation of like the Gauthier thing and the Johansen thing. And they both just so happen to be represented by the same guy. Yeah. And then Zebuyam, maybe there's something about like, maybe the Flyers, not to go back into this, but like maybe the Flyers found out that like, it would have been one of those situations where, this college player was going to want to, kind of sashay his way to his own team, kind of like how Adam Fox did, where it's like, I know I got drafted by the Flames. I don't want to play for you. I want to play for the Rangers and no other team. And you're going to have to find a way to get me there because I'm not going to play for you ever, no matter what you do or say. Right, so who knows if Zebuyam is the same thing, but like, and I
there's a reason though. Like, I don't know. I want to know why Zebuyam dropped like he did, but Zebuyam, especially considering how weird that draft was, like he seemed like a guy with his skill set that probably should have gone definitely in the top 10, if not like the top like 7 or 8.
I would think so.
Most of the projections had him going pretty high.
I would think so. Yeah. But this is all just rumors, hearsay. None of it is accurate. This is literally just insane NHL hockey Twitter theory. And
man, it's insane on like a regular day. But when you have a bunch of weird shit for the Flyers happen in like a short period of time, it gets extra crazy. And this is like one of the most bizarre periods in recent Flyers history, just as far as like news stories that come out, because you have, if we're talking just within this past calendar year, the year 2024, you've got Fedotov just magically coming over from Russia. Then you've got Mishkov coming over. You've got, I think Gauthier happened technically late last year, but like that whole thing is still like crazy. That's certainly within the past calendar year. Certainly not, not 2024, but it happened within a year.
I think Gauthier happened in January. So
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like just a bunch of crazy shit that's happened. And then this Ryan Johansen thing. And what we're going to get into with Kolosov, which is again a bunch of hearsay. Nobody knows the real story there right now, but like it's all just like really weird shit that's going on. And that doesn't even include like a lot of the actual hockey moves that have happened, which there's been a couple weird ones there too. And just like what is going on with this team? It seems like things are going well, but then it seems like the hockey gods keep wanting to intervene and saying it's not going that great, guys. Don't get your hopes up.
What's the deal with the Flyers?
What's the deal with the Flyers?
What's the deal with that? Yeah, it's just a weird. It's just a really weird time. And like I tweeted earlier, like imagine a normal Flyers offseason. And
I've never seen one.
Well, and that's the thing. So like I came to that realization with a little bit of help from oh boy, let me see if I can find their name at Monday C3 Cram. CRAM.
Oh, that's one of my favorite Star Wars droids right there.
There you go. And they basically tweeted they responded, isn't chaos a normal Flyers offseason? And God damn it, they're right. This is a normal Flyers offseason, Steve. Like the abnormalness is normal for the Flyers. This is just how they do things. This is just how they are. They can't help themselves.
The franchise goes big and that's what happens. And also it's just like one of the most well-known franchises and just like weird shit follows the Flyers. It always has, it always will.
Yeah, no, it's true. So yeah, really weird situation. And like, just to go a little bit further here on this situation, according to Elliot Friedman, the NHLPA, and this is again, regarding Ryan Johansen and the Kurt Overhart situation. According to Elliot Friedman, the NHLPA made a statement saying, the Philadelphia Flyers' actions raise significant concerns.
They're in trouble.
Sounds like somebody's.
Sounds like someone's principal's office.
Yeah, that sounds like a principal's office message. So,
I mean, the thing is, like, there is a long history of NHL teams finding any reason to get out of these problematic players' contracts.
Yeah.
The worst one I can think of, which also involved noted Flyers front office member Dean Lombardi.
Oh, wow.
Was the whole Mike Richards situation where Richards had his long-term contract that Paul Holmgren had signed him to with the Flyers. Then he got traded to the Kings. And, you know, Richards is one of those guys who played hockey fucking hard. Like he was a hard-nosed, hardcore player. And, you know, a lot of those guys, they don't age well. They don't really age gracefully with the game. And the Kings were looking for an excuse to get out of that contract. And Richards had that whole thing with pain medication coming in from, I believe, Canada. And they used that as an excuse to just dump him out of his contract. And he went to the lake and was only recently seen again.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, there's a lot of weird stuff that kind of follows this team and that has followed this team around. And you do see a lot of teams doing very strange things to get out from under these, you know, these players. And I don't know. This is just yet another bizarre chapter to throw into the Flyers book of the last 10 decade, whatever it is, 10 years. So this, you know, on paper, this should not be a story. But
no, this should
because it's the Flyers, because of the Flyers, it's a story. And not only is it a story, this is a story to watch that's probably going to have lots and twists and turns over the course of several weeks. So, if not longer. So, who knows how this is going to go? It's crazy.
This isn't even involving, like, I talked about all the crazy stories. I didn't even bring up the fact that their star goaltender is involved in a major Canadian crime trial, like, you know,
that's
trial.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know, like, just, man, when you think back on all the shit we've seen in the past year, it's
ridiculous.
Damn, dude. It staggers you. It's
like, you know,
boggles the mind.
We've talked about it before. The amount of things just in the last 10 years, the amount of insane things that the Flyers have dealt with. Like, you think of Oscar Lindblom, like
boy
he's leading the team in goals, and then boom, he gets fucking cancer. And then he comes back and he takes them on this crazy, you know, this play.
He makes this heroic comeback, but he's just never ever the same.
Never the same. And then like there's the Ryan Ellis thing where he just disappears. He just disappears and he plays 2 games, disappears. And then, I mean, who can forget Mark Straight? He breaks his dick. And then there's so many other things.
Oh, let's talk about Nolan Patrick.
Yeah, I'm skipping over everything.
But like, that's one of the most significant ones of the past. Like the fact that they got the number 2 overall pick.
Yeah.
And we were all excited. And he was the consensus number 2. And he has just every problem you can imagine, health-wise and attitude-wise. And they end up getting easily the worst pick of the top 5 in that draft.
Jim McCrossan suing the Flyers.
Oh, I actually almost forgot about that
because he got canceled. Like, it's crazy the amount of things over the last 10 years that are just weird things that are just happening to the Flyers. It's just it's ridiculous.
It's a cursed franchise, my friend. A cursed franchise. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
there was actually something I meant to bring up last week, but just we kind of didn't. Where the Maple Leafs named a new captain. They actually took the captaincy away from John Tavares and gave it to Austin Matthews. And does that remind Flyers fans of something? Because I always think of because this franchise, like, I love these drama queens on Twitter that go out and they're like, this is the worst day in franchise history over like Travis Konecny signing an extension. Oh, they signed their best player to an extension
now. You know what? Like, we have been in our Broad Street Hockey Slack. We have been seeing so many like doomsdayers and just sharing all these insane doomsdayer tweets. And there's this.
Y'all ain't seen shit is what I'm trying to say. Y'all ain't seen shit because this John Tavares thing, that was nothing. I saw Eric Lindros after this franchise almost killed him, get stripped of the C. And in the pregame, they actually showed them stitching the C on Eric Desjardins' jersey. Like the biggest slap in the face that a franchise could give to probably the most talented player in franchise history. Mm-hmm. Absolutely friggin' bonkers. Y'all ain't seen shit, okay? Yeah. This franchise has done, if you think the past 10 years have been bad, like they have done just some of the worst shit. Dude, the internet could not have taken the 90s Flyers.
Oh my God, I can't
even imagine. Rumors of like Lindros sleeping with Brindamore's wife, the internet would have gone fucking nuts for that.
That's wild.
It's wild. It's wild. Yeah. Like, oh my God, the Chris Gratton trade. Oh, the Chris Gratton signing, people would have gone nuts over that. The Keith Primo trade for Rod Brindamore would have gone insane over that. Jeremy Roenick, like it just all sorts of crazy shit happened to this franchise. It did not just start happening, guys. It has been crazy since the inception. The Bullies were crazy. The 80s teams were probably the best team of the 80s to not win a cup. Okay. Those teams were friggin' great. Tim Kerr, Brian Propp, like just some of the best talent, Mark Howell, some of the best talent this franchise has ever had. And they didn't win anything because they hit, I don't know, the Islanders, the Dynasty Islanders, the Dynasty Oilers. They just hit, two of the best teams in NHL history 3 times in 1 decade. Yeah. Unbelievable. Y'all ain't seen shit. Okay. This franchise is nuts. It will always be nuts. But granted, there has been some wild shit that's happened in the past like few years for sure.
Yeah.
But like, don't say it's the worst thing that's ever happened in franchise history.
That's the thing. That's what's driving me insane. Are the people who are acting like I know that like not this offseason has not exactly gone swimmingly. It hasn't been bad. We got Mitch.
Hasn't been bad. Yeah. I mean,
Michkov is here. Like, how can you complain? Like, there's literally like. I know people are just looking for things to be mad about. Is what it seems like.
I don't know why you have to be mad.
There's this one. Why you have to be mad? There's this one fucking idiot on Twitter. I'm not even going to bring his name up because he's such a dumbass. But like, we just make fun of him in the Broad Street Hockey Slack all the time because he's just like, Danny Briere's a liar, and the rebuild isn't happening. It's a lie. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, you truly are just insane. I don't know. Like, you have brainworms if you actually believe what is coming out of your mouth right now. So like, it's stupid. People are just looking for reasons to be upset because that's what they're used to, because that's what the Flyers have been doing to this godforsaken fan base for so long. Dude, is making them mad and just have like, there's constantly something to yell and complain about. Now that there is nothing to really actually yell and complain about, people are just finding reasons. And this Kolosov thing, like, yes, is it a issue? Isn't it? Do
you want to shift into that?
Yeah,
so,
let's do it.
Right. So final thoughts real quick on Ryan Johansen. Like, do you what's your opinion on this? Like, do you think this is a big deal? Do you think
No.
like
Not
I don't either. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit about this guy. He's never going to play for the Flyers. He didn't want to play for the Flyers. Flyers don't want him. Let's just part ways. And guess what? If they pay him a little cap hit at some point, whatever. I don't give a shit.
The only interesting thing about this is Kurt Overhart, the agent.
Yeah.
It's not even Ryan Johansen.
That sounds like a wrestling name, by the way. Like Kurt Overhart, 100% sounds like a C-list wrestler.
Kurt, it sounds like it's a mixture of Kurt Angle and Bret Hart.
Yeah, so you're right.
Yeah.
You better watch out, brother. Kurt Overhart's coming for you, and he's got a mountain of paperwork with your name on it.
That's right. That's right. That's perfect. That needs to be a new heel in WWE.
Oh, that's Kurt. My God, that's Kurt Overhart's music. He's coming to wreck shit.
My God.
Yeah.
So, all right. So there's the Ryan Johansen thing. It's a situation that I guess we have to follow, but it's not by any means a big deal. It doesn't sound like it. Could the Flyers get in trouble? It sounds like there's a possibility they could get in trouble based off of the wording from the NHLPA. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Oh, jeez, Quigz, are the Flyers going to get in trouble?
No clue. I don't know
if I can take it.
All I know is
Danny Briere's a war criminal.
Ryan Johansen is not important to this team in any way, shape, or form. He's not even on the team. He never was. So, like, whatever. This is just a blip on the radar. But it by all means, it's something that people are going to be following because there's nothing else to follow. So, well, aside from Alexei Kolosov.
Aside from Alexei Kolosov. So, give us a quick rundown of this Kolosov situation while I wrangle my puppy.
So, as we all know, or perhaps may not know, Alexei Kolosov is one of the best goalie prospects in the Flyers system. Now, luckily, the Flyers are in a pretty wild spot. Like, historically, the Flyers have not had a deep pool of goalie prospects. Right now, their prospect pool for goalies is like really good. I'm still going to consider Sam Ersson a prospect because he's like still young.
He's a young guy, yeah. He's 24.
Yeah. He's on the top 25 under 25 list. So he's still young.
Coming soon to BroadStreetHockey.com.
That's right. And we still don't know exactly like what he is yet. So like with that
goaltender
criterion, but like with that criteria in mind, like I would still consider him a prospect, I guess, even though technically he's not, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
But like
he's a young guy. We don't know if he's a starter. We don't know if he's back.
Yeah. We got Sam Ersson. You got Ivan Fedotov. You got.
We also don't know who he is at this point.
We don't know. And
he's very to find out.
He's very much a prospect. And by the way, he's what, like 28?
Yeah, he's like 27. I think
he's almost my age. So.
Oh, so old.
So
shut up. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah. But you got Ivan Fedotov, and then you got this kid Yegor Zavragin, who's looking quite good in Russia. So another Russian goalie.
Zavragin the Dragon.
Zavragin. Pocket that one, Steve. Pocket that one.
That's a shirt. That's a shirt.
It is.
Where's my Zavragin?
But then, of course, we have Alexei Kolosov, who over the last couple of years has looked really, really, really good in the KHL. He is Belarusian. So take that with what you will. I don't know. It doesn't really make any difference. Russia doesn't really matter. It's the same goddamn thing. But
Belarus.
He has been playing really, really well in the KHL. And the Flyers finally brought him over to play for the Phantoms last season. And he played a few games. And basically, the thought was that he would, go home to Russia during the offseason and then come back for development camp and all that. And he didn't. And that was a major surprise because he signed an entry-level contract with the Flyers. So the Flyers are sitting there like, that's weird. The guy we signed to this entry-level contract just didn't come to dev camp. That's very strange. We would expect him to be there.
What else was he doing?
That's the thing.
Because if the rumors are to be believed, he was locked in a hotel by himself.
No food or water.
No food or water.
No
only Rob Schneider and Donald Trump to talk to.
windowless room, no food or water. He couldn't even photosynthesize.
He had to imagine food.
His hair couldn't get the sunlight it needs because, listen, Steve, he has some incredible locks. Have you seen Alexei
It does have
Kolosov?
good flow. It's good flow for sure.
Really good flow. And you need the sunlight to get a flow like that.
I heard that he had to imagine food like in the movie Hook. And that's just wrong because that food looked disgusting that those kids were eating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bangarang.
It's wild what the Flyers put him through. No, basically what happened is he came to the fan. He only played...
Dude, he played 2 games. The drama.
It's ridiculous. He played 2 games with the Phantoms, and he did fine. He had like a 3. I think he had a 303 goals against average, 0.885 save percentage. So nothing incredible, but like he was, this rookie kid coming over to play for the Phantoms in North America for the first time in his life. So it's whatever. But he goes back, and then all of a sudden they're, with him not coming to development camp, it's like, oh, he's not going to come over here. He's going to stay in Russia and, this and that. And, there were some doubts. There's been a lot of rumors and stuff, but we still haven't heard from Alexei Kolosov himself about what's going on. And then this report comes out the other day, or yesterday, I should say, from Kevin Kurz of The Athletic. And he basically tweeted, per league source, I'm told that Alexei Kolosov would prefer to play in the KHL this season on loan with Dynamo Minsk, where he feels he would best develop. No word whether that's something that would be palatable for the Flyers. So a couple things here. So a lot of people are saying, oh, this is just like the William Gauthier situation. And that it's a little bit different because by all accounts, it sounds like Gauthier was just like, I want to play right now. And if you don't play me right now, I'm gone. And that's kind of what happened. The Flyers are like, we don't want to put you in the locker room with Tony DeAngelo. So no. and then he got mad about that. And he was like, all right, well, I'm not playing for you then.
That's why I understand. Yeah, that was Bill Gauthier, right? Bill was like,
yeah.
I need to be around TDA. He's got a dearth of experience.
Of course. So, but it sounds to me like Alexei Kolosov is a little bit of a different situation because he was more homesick. He didn't quite love his time in North America, which I do get because he's only 22 years old. He's a kid. And, like maybe he just wasn't ready. Maybe he truly was homesick and he's like, you know what? I want to develop in my home. And when it's time for me to come over full time, I'll come over full time. I don't think that's necessarily the best way of developing a player. But like, if that's what he wants, that's what he wants. But now there's this other added narrative of, oh, the Flyers mishandled him. They locked him in this hotel room, no food, no water, no interaction, no vitamin D from the sunlight. Like
his only companion was a creepy puppet who rode on a tiny bicycle and came in and laughed at him. And then he was chained up to Carrie Elwes. And what are we talking about, guys?
And I think people are just really uptight because of the William Gauthier situation. And now people are freaking out.
We don't know shit about what happened with Bill Gauthier either. Like
we really don't. We can only speculate really what happened. Like all we know for a fact is that he wanted to play. Like for the Flyers, not at the end of this past season, but the one before, the 22-23 season. Yeah. He wanted to play for the Flyers, and it was a miserable environment to have a young, up-and-coming, like, top prospect come into. So I don't blame the Flyers for saying, this ain't it, dude. Just wait till next year.
Yeah.
And then he just didn't show up for dev camp or anything like that, and it was a whole fiasco, and we all know how that ended. But I don't know if this is the same situation. It could really be a situation of Alexei Kolosov saying like, yo, let me just spend one more year in the KHL and then I'll come after that. I don't know. I really don't know. But if this is a situation where Kolosov is just completely like the Flyers mishandled him and he feels like he wasn't treated well by the team itself, then that's a whole other issue. But that's the thing. We need to know that. And we don't know that. And that's what people are just assuming right now is that, oh, the Flyers screwed this up. They botched it. Kolosov is going to go on to become like this Hall of Fame goalie, which like, I don't know why people think he's even going to be an NHL starting goalie. Like,
is
he's
he even a goalie top 5 prospect?
That's the thing. Goalie prospects are so ridiculously hit or miss. Like, there's no way of knowing if he's even going to be that good. So,
who's the best goaltender that the Flyers have had in the past 20 years? Sergei Bobrovsky. You know where they got Sergei Bobrovsky? They signed him off the fucking street. Like,
exactly.
You never know with these guys. But the thing is also, like, nobody was really talking about Kolosov about being a great prospect until this came up. Like, thoughts about him being a solid, exciting prospect. Yeah, sure. But like, there wasn't hype around him. We're not talking about Oliver Bonk. We're not talking about
there was some hype. There was some hype.
It wasn't like it wasn't anywhere near what some of these other guys were. It wasn't even like Fedotov even had more of a hype moment than he did after the initial thought. Yeah,
the Olympics, people were going. Yeah, people were wild for him after the Olympics.
Yeah, which again was unwarranted IMO, but like I like Fedotov. I think he got some potential. He's freaking huge, but like it was complete. Like, people just get so crazy over these prospects, and it's like, what are you people doing? Can you just any other hobby? There's 4 sports teams in this town. If you follow the other 3, it'll take a little bit of your attention away from just obsessing over this every day. Go touch some grass, my friends. Come on. Like, I love the Flyers, but we can't obsess over every prospect like it's the end of the world. Yeah. Am I annoyed that Bill Gauthier decided that he didn't want to play here? Yeah, that sucked. I'm not happy about that. But like, Jamie Drysdale's exciting. I think he could be something. Is this Kolosov thing weird? Yeah, I want.
It's weird, and that's the thing, is that it's bizarre.
But like,
it's very bizarre.
I'm not like losing any damn sleep over Kolosov. Like, oh,
how often? If this was Bonk, then we got a problem.
Bonk,
if this was Michkov, oh, then that you tear everything down. If this is Michkov, but here's the thing, though, Michkov not only wanted to leave Russia to come to the NHL, he wanted to leave Russia to come to the Flyers specifically. He kissed the goddamn crest on his jersey. Like, he adores the Flyer. Yeah, like he wants to be a Flyer. And people are always complaining about how no one wants to be a Flyer. Fucking Matvei Michkov, one of the greatest Russian prospects to ever come out of the KHL, or one of the greatest U19 prospects to ever come out of the KHL. He wants to be a Flyer. So I don't know. But like,
and this is also, I was saying this when we talked about Kolosov a few weeks back, was like, I want people that want to be here. I want competitors. And like, look, I understand being homesick and stuff, but dude, like, there is a clear path to number 1 goaltender on this team in the NHL. And if you don't see that, and you're not willing to put in the work to take that, and he only spent like a couple months with the Phantoms, if that, like, if that was enough to like completely dispel him from the organization, then like, good riddance. Like, I don't want any part of that, because like, I don't want quitters. I want people who really just want to be the friggin' best, like, it's just ridiculous.
The thing is like, if he came over here, like, he could meet, like, I'm not sure he's even met Zamula yet.
Right.
Or has he even met Michkov yet? Like, he could become buds with these guys, and then they could have a little friend group, and they could create their own Mojol, Doljol, Casa house.
Right.
And, but in, what's the Russian neighborhood? Northeast Philly.
I've always just called it Little Russia. Yeah, it's
they could stay up in Little Russia.
Tim Panaccio lives around there. He could show him the ropes.
Yeah, just get a place up there. Like, that's all you got to do.
I've heard
live together.
I've heard the Net Cost Market is up there. You can get some like videotapes from like behind the black curtain.
Yeah,
and that's great. Timmy P can show you around. I heard there's a great Ukrainian restaurant up there where you can just slug vodka all day. Yeah,
there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder how they feel about that. But it's
yikes! Good night and good hockey, folks.
It's a weird. It's just a weird thing, because how often do you hear about a prospect getting homesick and then just saying, "Fuck it, I'm a bail"?
You don't. Yeah, you don't. It's weird. I want more information. That's the thing. Like, they're so, and I don't know if this is the Flyers being tight-lipped. I don't know if this is the person in question, be it Kolosov or Gauthier, being tight-lipped, but there is not a lot of information, which creates extra speculation about this stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's just, there's so many missing pieces right now. And that I think is what has, captured the minds of so many people, is that, and that's what's creating this kind of just breeding ground for these wild just asinine theories and all that. So I don't know. It's very strange, and like there's no doubt about that. But this is something we'll hear more about. If he's not here for training camp, then it's not good. It's
bye.
The thing is, people are looking at this like this is like people are looking like at this saying fire Briere. And I'm like, okay.
If you fire Briere over this,
maybe take a chill pill for 2 seconds, because are you forgetting, just so conveniently forgetting, that he brought Matvei Michkov, the best Flyers prospect since Eric Lindros, over. He got him out of Canada. He went over here with guns and a rocket launcher, and he rappelled down from a helicopter, grabbed Michkov, and then took him up, and he brought him over to the United States. That's what's happened.
Well, let's also talk about the fact that he turned Ivan Provorov, who was a guy who was very much done here, into, let's see, he traded him to Columbus and worked out that whole deal with the Kings, got half a season of Sean Walker. So he got a first-round pick in the Provorov deal, right? Mm-hmm. And then he takes Sean Walker and he turns him into another first-round pick. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I'm sorry, that is some damn good GM work right there. And if you're not willing to give the guy a little bit of a benefit of a doubt based on like that body of work alone and the Michkov, bringing Michkov over, then like, I don't know what to tell you guys. And also Fedotov, the fact that it's very important to me that they built a good relationship with these KHL teams, because this could be very beneficial to this team moving forward, having that pipeline, because if they become the experts on kind of exporting or importing Russian players, right? Like that could really help them out and make them more confident to draft some of these guys than the other teams.
Yeah, no, you're right. And like, like it's just, we heard rumblings about maybe they were thinking of getting up and getting Demidov and this and that. It's cool that like now they don't have to stick with just Canadians and North Americans. You know what I mean? Like,
right. This is been a like franchise problem for a long time.
Yeah, this is like Christopher Columbus discovering North America. I mean, the Flyers have just discovered Europe. The world is their oyster now, Steve. So it's crazy, but it's just a wild situation, and people want answers and they don't have them, so they're just making them up now.
I want the truth.
Yeah.
That's where you're supposed to say you can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth. There we go.
I didn't yell it out like I should have, but
you should have.
You can't handle the truth, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you. But dude, people are driving themselves nuts over this stuff. And ultimately what we're looking at with these two situations, disgruntled player who has a history with the head coach and wasn't wanted by the Colorado Avalanche, who just decided, I don't want any part of this. So they decided to terminate and part ways. At worst, we might get a slap on the wrist from the NHL, whatever. And then the other one, potentially homesick guy who doesn't want to try and compete for the Flyers' top job. And we don't actually have any information on this, but he might be going back to the KHL. The Flyers aren't happy. Like, it's a drop in the bucket.
Which again, he's under contract with the Flyers.
Yeah.
So like, technically, he's not allowed to do that. Like technically he is not able to. But
am I the asshole Flyers version?
Yeah. But there's a chance that he might just be like, whatever, I'm doing it anyway, because like the KHL, it seems like they don't care anymore, and like they're just going to start not paying attention to, what is it called? It's like this like referendum of understanding between the two leagues, where it's like, if you're under contract with one league, you don't play the other, and the other one just accepts that. Sounds like the KHL is just not playing ball anymore, and they're just going to kind of do what they want to do. So I have no idea. It's just crazy. It's a wild situation right now. I
don't know, dude, but like, if he wants to burn that bridge and do it, like, I don't care. I don't know.
It's not good.
I don't really care.
It's not good if he does it.
It's not good, but I don't care. I don't know. This isn't Michkov. This isn't Bonk. This isn't Chet Luchenko. Like, these aren't the guys I pinned my hope. He's not the guy I pinned my hopes and dreams on. So like, you don't want to be here, dude. It's just like Gauthier. Like, you don't want to be here. I don't want you here. I'll see it.
Okay. I get that. I understand that. Yeah, I understand that mindset.
No babies. I don't want any babies here. This is not a baby-free zone.
Right. Yeah.
No babies.
And I'm sure the front office is not thrilled by this. Like they're looking at this and they're thinking, oh, well, like, we really valued you and we really thought that you had this. Like, if you can't handle coming to living in a new country, how are you going to handle playing in the top hockey league on the planet? Like,
look, I'm
like they're questioning his mental toughness.
Yes, right, I am too. And like, I'm as sympathetic as they come, but like, dude, you got to buck up here. You got to buck up, and you got to like. I'm going to say it one last time, and I'm not going to say it again. There is a path to a starting goaltender at an NHL level job, and I'm not even talking a long time. Like, you could be it next year if Sam Erson's terrible and you are lights out. Like, you could be the guy, but if you don't see that, or you don't care, or you're that homesick, then like, all right, go back to the KHL. Just stay there. Like, yeah, I don't want any part of that, because like, I don't want wishy-washy guys. Like, I want guys that want to be a damn Flyer. I want Matvei Michkov. Matvei Michkov is the ideal there. That's the guy I'm excited for. And he's the guy. He's here. He's ready to play, and let's freaking go. So if you're freaking out about this, man, like, as I said before, go touch some grass. It's actually nice now. It's not Real Feel 107 anymore. Go to the beach, watch the ocean. There are things to do besides obsess over like the number 12 prospect in the system. Yeah. Like, dude, who cares?
It has been beautiful this week.
It's been beautiful this week.
It's been like crisp. This morning was like a crisp fall morning almost.
This morning was great. I actually wore a long sleeve shirt and shorts.
I did too.
Out. Yeah,
I did too.
It was
awesome.
It was great. But like, if you're losing sleep over Kolosov, if you're saying Danny Briere should be fired over Kolosov, like, you got
something's wrong with you. Something's really wrong with you.
Something's wrong with you. I'm worried about you. Let's have an intervention, because it's not that big a deal. It's really not. Like, it's weird. It's worth talking about, but like, there are outsized reactions to this that baffle me.
Yeah, no, there's someone needs to do a case study on Flyers Twitter, because it's just the worst place, man.
I think you could win an award if you do that case study.
That would probably,
like,
that would need to be
a Nobel Prize.
Yeah, that would need to be a multi-year study. Just because there's just so much to unpack. Like, there's a lot to unpack with the Flyers fan base.
Yeah.
So
the Nobel Prize goes to
now, with all this Kolosov, mumbo jumbo happening. Now people are like, oh, well, this just means the Flyers need to trade for Yaroslav Askarov.
So that's my next question is, what do you think about Askarov? What do you think that's worth? I'm holding up a yak cheese chew, by the way, for people on camera. Do you think that is a path worth going down? So Askarov is with the Predators. He's a very highly touted prospect in their system, but he does not have a clear path to the starting job. That's the problem there. He's got UC, and
that's why he's demanded a trade, and that's why, because he wants to play. And UC Saros is like, he just signed that massive contract extension, so he's going nowhere. Yeah. And Askarov is like, oh shit, well,
what am I doing here?
Yeah, what am I doing? Like, what's the situation? So like, he wants to go somewhere where he could play and presumably be the number one goalie. The Flyers are in a situation where they don't exactly have a number one. Like, yes, you have Erson, but do we know that he's a number one, like, for the long haul? No, we don't. We think he could be. He very well could be.
I have my doubts.
I can't
like him, but
I do too. I don't know that he's definitely not going to be a number one, and that's kind of the whole point of this season, is the Flyers think that he could be that. They don't know that he is, but they think he could. And then they also need to figure out Fedotov. And now I know his situation's wild, because the whole military thing, and then it was just a wild headache getting him over here. But like, they want to see what they have in both of those guys. And it wouldn't really make a ton of sense for them to trade for Askarov when they have both of these guys who they're trying to figure out. But
I have my
also, neither one of these guys, neither Fedotov or Ersson has quite the track record that Askarov does. Like,
I would trade Sam Ersson for Askarov in a heartbeat.
I think that's
like in a package. I would 100% do it because I think I'd rather go for the big swing with the high ceiling than
I get that
Askarov.
I
don't think Ersson's ceiling's very high, and I don't think we have a Bobrovsky on our hands where we are going to be ruining that for the next 15 years.
Right.
Like Bobrovsky, I knew we had something special, and I was so friggin' furious when they went with Brizgalov over him. Just insanity to this day. But Askarov, like, I don't get those vibes from Ersson. Like, I like Sam Ersson a lot, the son of Ayers. Like, I just don't get the vibes that he is like a rock star, that he's awesome. Like Askarov is a guy who's got such a high ceiling that I would take that swing if I was Briere. I would trade some assets and Sam Ersson, or I don't think they would trade Fedotov, and I don't think any team would want to take on his cap hit right now.
No one. Yeah. He cannot be moved because of his contract, and like because of what he's shown in the NHL. Like, granted, like every game he played last season doesn't really actually matter because like it was a whole fiasco getting him over here. He came over. They just wanted to see him out there. I feel like they just wanted to have, for record keeping purposes, just visual evidence of Fedotov in the NHL. I think that's all they wanted. And they got it. He didn't play that great, but they got it. But like, you're right. Like, Ersson does not have the kind of pedigree that Askarov has. And I understand the argument of saying, let's just trade Ersson for Askarov, but I also feel like the Flyers want to see Ersson in a situation where it's more of a shared net, because that's part of the problem with him, or that was part of the problem with Ersson last season, is he played really, really, really well for a big portion of the year. And then at the end of the year, after he was playing every single game, basically, he crashed. Any goalie would crash under that weight. And so I feel like they kind of want to see him in a little less of like a, it's you or no one else role. Like they want to use this tandem, I think, and figure out, who's the better of the two.
Sure, I understand that, but I also think they had this plan before they knew somebody like Askarov would be available. So that basically, like, I didn't know there'd be that option, so I was fine going with the Ersson or Fedotov experiment for this year.
Plans change.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's basically like, oh, you're telling me like this top line model's available? Let's see if we can splurge a little bit. But I don't expect the Flyers to be in on this at all. But I think it's intriguing, and it's something that if I was Danny Briere, I would certainly kick the tires on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely worth talking about, but I just don't think it'll actually happen. And
no. I heard the Sharks were interested already, because why not?
Yeah. But listen, man, we don't know. This kind of just goes back. And am I sounding like maybe I'm giving Ersson too much credit here? Possibly, probably. But we don't know that he's not something. You know what I mean?
I think he's something. I just don't think I don't think he's a long-term answer. I think he's like a fine short-term guy in the vein of a Robert Esch, or trying to think of like people from that era, that Marty Biron. Plenty of a fine tradition of Flyers short-term answers in net. But the thing is, like, you did have a long-term answer, right? You had the long-term answer, and it was something else. And then that long-term answer went right out the window.
Yeah.
And now we have to go with something else. And
what a fucking idiot.
Yeah, fuck that guy. But the thing is, like, if you're the Flyers, like, you already have like your big piece in place with Mishkov. Like, obviously you've got to get center depth to support him. You've got to get maybe some better defensive players to go with that too, for, phase 2 of Danny's rebuild. But, taking a big swing on a goalie is really interesting to me. And I think,
and it's risky.
It's risky.
It is.
But everything's risky. I mean, it depends on what you're giving up. Like, if you're giving up Erson and one of your surplus of picks, like I'm cool with that, like one of your you got a couple first rounders coming up. I think that might be worth maybe taking a flyer on, but it's something I don't expect. Like I'm kind of just speculating and saying like I wouldn't mind this, but it's not something I'm expecting to go out and do by any means.
No, I'm not either. But like this is going to be a hot topic of conversation for the duration that Askarov is a member of the Predators still. Until he's moved. There you go, Steve. There's the tinfoil hat again.
Put the tinfoil hat back on.
Like until he's traded, Flyers fans are going to say, "Let's go get him." And I understand that argument, but I also understand the argument from the Flyers side of we have these two goalies who we've invested a lot of resources in, and we believe in them, and we're going to stick with our guys. Like I understand it from both sides. Like, and I don't think either side is necessarily wrong. You know what I mean? Like two things can be true at the same time. It just feels like it's just not going to happen. It's not lining up at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see. I mean, Askarov's very young, and the Flyers and the Predators have a history of working out deals, so you never know. You never know.
It's true.
But I wouldn't expect it. I'm very much expecting the Flyers to roll into the season with the Erson-Fedotov tandem, and we'll see what we got. This is a real let her rip season coming up.
Yeah. It's, like I said, there's going to be a lot of trade talk for the Flyers and the Askarov thing. But where there's not going to be trade talk right now anymore, Steve?
Oh, Mudville.
Patrik Laine.
Yeah.
We can't have...
I wasn't calling Patrik Laine Mudville. I was calling Columbus Mudville.
Well, honestly, if that was Patrik Laine's nickname, it would make a lot of sense because he looks like someone who would be from a place called Mudville.
Yeah.
But Patrik Laine has been traded, and therefore he's probably not going to get traded again, you would think. And it probably wouldn't be the Flyers.
I don't know about that.
Well, what I mean is like in the next couple months.
Right. Not in the next couple months.
Yeah, like, perhaps at the trade deadline.
Next off-season trade deadline, who knows? But Patrik Laine, who used to be a very, very desired target of Flyers Twitter. Like Flyers Twitter used to bring up Patrik Laine constantly because, well, we've got Giroux, we've got Voracek, we got a bunch of passers. We need to score some damn goals.
He's what we call a quintessential former future Flyer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, no thanks at this point because I don't think his scoring touch is what it used to be.
He's just not.
No, he's not. Like, and he's very one-dimensional. If he ain't scoring, he ain't doing shit. But he wanted out of Columbus, and who can blame him on that front? Jeff Carter certainly can't. And he got his wish. So the Columbus Blue Jackets are going to be getting defenseman Jordan Harris, and Montreal is getting a second-round pick and Patrik Laine.
So at first glance, I saw that the Blue Jackets got Jordan Harris, and I was like, why did they get the owner of the 76er?
Oh my God, Josh Harris.
Josh Harris. Yeah.
Mr. Move the team to Camden himself.
That's right. Yeah, fucking idiot. But yeah. So Jordan Harris, whatever that is now a Blue Jacket. Good luck, bud. And Montreal gets. I mean, that's a great trade for Montreal. A second and Laine, like really good swap. So for them, so good on them. Maybe Laine can resurrect his career there, but then again, that's what we thought about Columbus. So who knows?
Who knows? And man, that Laine trade when it went down the first time, going from Winnipeg to Columbus, was a huge deal.
It was, yeah.
It was him straight up for Pierre-Luc Dubois, right?
Yes. No, I don't know.
Pierre-Luc Dubois.
No, I don't remember. I truly don't remember. I couldn't care enough to look, but
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's crazy because Patrik Laine, I mean, it was only a couple of years ago that he averaged a point per game. And then the year before that, or the year after that, he was, around a point per game. So like he can put up some points. It just wasn't working out in Columbus. It was not where he should be. He wasn't doing great there. And the team sucks. It's just an awful team. Stupid.
Do they have
franchise.
A coach yet?
They finally have a coach. So, good on them for doing literally the most bottom of the barrel task, getting that completed in, I think, July. So
yeah,
good job, Blue Jackets. But
it was Patrik Laine and Jack Roslovich to the Blue Jackets in exchange for Pierre-Luc Dubois. And
it was okay.
Third-round pick.
Okay, you're right.
Trying to gaslight me over here. What are we doing?
I couldn't remember. I truly could not. But yeah, so it's this. You know what? This does strike me as a trade that would like totally work for the Canadiens. I could see him like really turning it around in Montreal. I have no reason to think that really, but I could just see it working out. Just because it does feel like whenever anyone goes to Columbus, they suck there.
Well, it sucks the life out of you. I mean, it's the only franchise in town besides like, only pro franchise because like obviously it's a big college town, right? I've heard Columbus is lovely, but I just don't. I don't go to Ohio. It's not a state I'm interested in. It's not a state I'm interested in at all.
I can die and go and hit every inch of the earth, but if I don't hit Ohio, I would die with a big smile on my face.
Fly right over it.
Yeah, right. I don't even want to. I don't even need to be in the airspace, Steve. I really do. Just fly around it.
There was a time in my life where I would have been really interested in that roller coaster park they have there.
Cedar Point.
Because I love roller coasters, but my fat ass ain't great for roller coasters these days. I'm scarred because Six Flags has a ride. The last time I went to Six Flags, which was a long time ago at this point, they have a ride called El Toro, and the bar was not fitting with the gut. And like there were like 2 or 3 employees came to try and push down. I was like, nope, I'm out. No, thank you. Damn. Got up and walked away. So yeah, I've kind of been avoiding the theme parks since then. But anyway, going back.
I avoid the theme parks for a different reason, and that's just because I will puke on everyone around me. So,
dude, I have
really bad motion sickness.
Oh, see, you're like my dad. My dad has really bad motion sickness. I was a thrill junkie with that shit. Like I would go on the biggest, tallest roller coasters. I love it, but I can't. You know what? Let's just take it easy. Let's take it easy now.
There you go.
So there's no reason for me to go to Ohio is what this all comes down to. Sorry to Drew Carey. The city of Cleveland. Cleveland rocks, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Guardians, the Browns, the Bengals, the Reds. Who cares? I don't care about any of it. No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Jason and Travis Kelce are the only good things to come out of Ohio.
That's a fact, Jack.
Very true. Yeah.
It ain't the Skyline chili from what I've heard either.
It's not. So
it's like spaghetti and chili.
Gross.
Yeah, it's
get that out of my face.
That is a no from me, dog.
But yeah, so interesting trade for the Habs. We'll see if it works out.
But they got some goal scorers, man. They got little Cole Caulfield, little baby Cole Caulfield, and they got Patrik Laine, the Cave Troll. So they're going
Nick Suzuki. Good. They got Nick Suzuki there, setting everybody up. Patting people on the head. So
Nick Suzuki. Yeah, I forgot about that head pat. That was a great. One of the few great Flyers playoff moments in the past 15 years.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, Derek Grant coming in at the end.
Well, I'm sorry, last 13 years because 2012 was the last great Flyers.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
So
yeah, Derek Grant's only memorable moment as a Flyer.
But that was awesome.
Yeah,
I loved it.
That was awesome.
So credit to Derek Grant.
Yeah, that series is way harder than it should have been.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, good times right there. Well, as the sound of Bruce tapping impatiently on the back door glass will tell you, it's time to go. We got to get out of here. But folks, it was a lot. We had a lot of fun. We actually had a whole segment that we recorded. We had to cut because I didn't start the video.
We stopped. Yeah, we forgot to record. So.
Well, I'm getting used to the StreamYard format, and I didn't realize that like you have to hit record twice. So what are you going to do? Right. But anyway, guess what? It's topic for next week. I'm adding it to the sheet for next week because next week we should have nothing. So I'm excited for next week to talk.
Don't say that out loud, Steve.
Oh yeah, that's when the Flyers trade for Askarov. Oh wait, I have to get all my Askarov puns out of the way too. Okay, all you have to do is ask her off me a question, ask her off for a friend. There we go.
Well done.
Yeah, I just had to get them out of my system because my dad brain, or as your buddy, my DILF brain would say, processes stuff.
Like that. Oh yeah. There you go.
Yeah. But Brucey Bear over here is getting impatient, so it's time to get going. But folks, thank you so much for listening. We truly love and appreciate you all. And if you are watching on the video feed, you can see the Twitter/Blue Sky handles right below. But for all the people just listening on audio, Quigz, where can people find you on socials for feedback?
Oh, you can find me at Ryan Quigz with a Z.
Oh, with a Z right there. And you can find me at Flyperbole or at Esteban. But if it's for hockey purposes, make it Flyperbole. You can also find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok, all that fun stuff. And guess what? We're going to have video clips on there now. So be on the lookout for all that stuff. Oh, wow. How about that? We love and cherish you all. And until next time, in the words of the great Gene Hart, good night and good hockey. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow.